जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव. Hare Krishna devotees, sorry for the little interruptions. We welcome you all for Iskcon Seshadripuram daily online Bhagavatam class. Today's verses, I would like to share the screen. Hare Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 1st chapter, verse number 34 to 37 is today's. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki. Next, 34. Shraddhatva Angirashaha Patni Chatasro Asuta Kanyakaha Tinivali Kuhuraka Chaturthi Anumati Tata. Finish 4 slokas. Verse and translation. Translation. There is no purport for all these 4 slokas. Translation and enlightenment given by Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation, verse 34. Angira's wife Shraddha gave birth to 4 daughters named Tinivali, Kuhu, Raka, and Anumati. Verse number 35. Tat putrau aparau astam yatau parochishe antare utatyo bhagavan sakshat brahmistascha brahaspatihi. Besides these 4 daughters, she also had another 2 sons. One of them was known as Utatya, and other was the learned scholar Brahaspati. Next verse. Pulastyo ajanyat patnyam agatyam cha avirbhuvi so anyanyanma janmani dhargine Vishravascha Mahatapaha. Translation. Pulastya begot in his wife Avirbhu one son of the name Agastya, who in his next birth became Dragni. Besides him, Pulastya begot another very great and saintly son, whose name was Vishrava. 37th verse. Tasya yaksha patirdevah kuberastva idavida sutaha ravanaha kumbhakarnascha patanashyam vibhishnaha. Translation. Visarva had 2 wives. The first wife was Idavida, from whom Kuvera, the master of all yakshas, was born, and the next wife was named Keshini, from whom 3 sons were born, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana. So these are the four verses for today, for today's discussion. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजनतं सहनरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् Advaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Dayana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Apta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा verse number 34 to verse number 37. Before getting into this verse, let us have the connectivity of this fourth canto. So this fourth canto, the first chapter, which deals about genealogical table of the daughters of Manu. So let us align with them. So here the daughters of Manu. So how many daughters were Manu? Who is Manu? So that is the point here. So before going to get into these four verses or the previous verses, let us align with the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So from teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 8, the avatars. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives some information which is so relevant before getting into the verses. So here the point, the discussion is happening between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and disciples. Uh, Here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that first he says about material nature and then about the Vishnu and Krishna to especially to Sanatan Goswami. Lord Chaitanya was explaining about Leela Avatara, Guna Avatara. There are 6 different types of avatars. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explaining to Sanatan Goswami. So here one particular point emphasized from this particular chapter is Vishnu is a part with respect to the creation or the origin, but Krishna is the whole. How to understand this? So there are so many candles. It is aligned with Brahma Samhita also. So there are so many candles, but the original candle which is being written to other candles are the original candle is Krishna. So here Vishnu is that the second candle like that. One can understand. So, and also the one more point emphasized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Brahma and Lord Shiva are obedient servants of the Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord as Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. So this is a little background for the supremacy of Krishna. Now exact conversation between Sanatana Goswami and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here Lord started explaining about the Manvantara Avatar. So it is aligned with today's topic from Srimad Bhagavatam, Manvantara Avatara. So when we understand about this Manvantara Avatara, so let me give a little background of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood before getting into Manu's or Manvantara Avatara's detail. So here, Mahaprabhu first stated that there is no possibility of counting the Manvantara Avatara. We may say there are 14 Manus. We all so accommodative with 14 Manu, and right now we are in the 7th Manu, like that. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu straight away gives the information we could not, it is not possible for counting the Manvantara Avatara. Why? Because countless universes are produced by the exhalation of Mahavishnu. So there are innumerable uh, universes are there. So how how one could accommodate, try to calculate how many Manus are existing at one time. It's very difficult. That is the first message. And then further, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains to Sanatana Goswami, saying that we all know one day of Brahma is one Kalpa. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Putting together, we could call it as a Kalpa. That would be a one day of Brahma. Now we will move to 1 month of Brahma, then 1 year of Brahma, etc. Then for these four and putting together, we call it as Kalpa. That is one day of Brahma. For each Manu, there is a Manvantara Avatara. So that is the order. Manvantara Avatara 1 to 14 we know. So that how many 14 parallelly simultaneously exist, so we don't know because of innumerable uh, universes. Now we will come to 1 month of Brahma. So 420 Manus during 1 month of Brahma, and 5040 Manus 1 year of Brahma, and Brahma lives for 100 years. So that means calculated that 5,04,000 Manus manifested for one lifetime of one Brahma. I'm repeating, 5,04,000 Manus for one Brahma. So that is the reason Mahaprabhu says here countless universes are produced by the exhalation of Mahavishnu, and thus no one can begin to calculate how many Manus are existing at one time. This is a little background, and we all know that 14 Manus. Let me try to recite their names. First Manu, Swayambhava Manu, then Swaru, Swarochisha Manu, then Uttama, then Tamasa, then Raivata, then Chakshusha, then Vaivasvata, and then Savarni. Then from Savarni, other Savarnis, we could understand that Daksha Savarni, and then Brahma Savarni, and then Rudra Savarni, Dharma Savarni, Deva Savarni, Indra Savarni. So just I recited the 14 Manus. Name, as we all know, we are going to speak about Swayambhava Manu. So, and also Prabhupada gives in one of the but in Bhagavad Gita, what we are speaking is not about Swayambhava Manu. So in Bhagavad Gita, we are speaking about Vaivasvata Manu. That is the seventh Manu or seventh Manu. And then after describing the incarnations, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described the Yuga avatars to Sanatana Goswami. So we know that Satya, Treta, Dwapara and Kali. Then finally we all could understand the Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, we all know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and who is calculated Krishna's horoscope in the house of Nanda Maharaj. So with that connection, that is, and we have to understand that why all this, Manvantara Avatara, the purpose. The purpose of Lord's Avatara is very simple. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya chatuskrita dharma samsthapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. We all know why the to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreant, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I myself appear millennium after the millennium. So now Lord, the purpose of Lord's coming, we know that. So in the fourth canto, this is the fourth order. First canto, second canto, third canto, and fourth canto. This is the conversation between the Maitreya Rishi and Kuris. And now we will get into the today's verse. And the first verse, that is 34th verse per translation. So before getting into that, so there are how many, you know, from where this lineage starts like that. I like to share. There is a beautiful picture of a family tree. Try to just look at our family tree from the Bhagavatam, then we will get into that. We all, I think, at least many of us are familiar with Bhagavatam family tree. Let me try to share that. So we all aware of our family tree. Let us directly look into today's verse. Angira's wife Shraddha gave birth to four daughters named Tinivali, Kuhu, Raka, and Anumati. So they are the four daughters. So these four daughters, wait for that. There are 13 daughters which comes in this lineage. Give me a minute. I will try to get the picture. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam family tree. It will be so relevant if I connect. Right? There are, as we all know, there are 14 Manus. I will share that. Share. I hope we can see the screen. I will make it bigger. Hare Krishna. Did you see the screen? Okay. So here, so we are going to discuss about Swayambhu Manu. There are three daughters for Swayambhu Manu here. That is Kuti, Prasiti, and Dev. There are two sons. So Krishna, from Krishna to Lord Brahma, then Swayambhu Manu. The first one. So we are discussing about only this particular point. Okay, fine. So about these four daughters between Angiras and Shraddha. Now, little information about these four daughters, like Dhata, the seventh son of Aditi, had four wives. The seventh son of Aditi had four wives named, so they all married to Dhata, son of Aditi, seventh son of Aditi. These wives begot four sons named Sayam, Darsha, Pratha, and Purnamasa. So they all got four children with these names. So that is little background about the first lineage. And then 35th verse. So in the 35th verse, the translation, besides these four daughters, she also had another two sons. One of them was known as Utat, Utatya, and the other was the learned scholar Brahaspati. So there are two, apart from those four daughters, those four daughters married to seventh son of Aditi, right? So, and also they got four children. And then she got two sons also. So the first son is Udatya. So the Udatya, one of three sons of Maharishi Angira, he was the spiritual master of Maharaj Mandasa. So this Utatya is the spiritual master of Maharaja Mandata. That is a little background about the first son. And the second, further information about the same son. This, which Mamata gave birth was begotten by Brahaspati irreligiously. So this Mamata, another character comes here. For although Mamata was the wife of Utatya. So who is the wife of Utatya? Is Mamata. So now Utatya and Brahaspati both are brothers. Now she got a child, by Brahaspati. But the child to which Mamata gave birth was begotten by Brahaspati irreligiously. For although Mamata was the wife of Utatya, Brahaspati made her pregnant by force. Therefore, Brahaspati became Bharta. According to Vedic culture, a wife is considered the property of her husband, and son born by illicit sex is called Dwaja. Dwaja. The common word still current in Hindu society for such a son is Dogla, which refers to a son not begotten by the husband of his mother. In such a situation, it is difficult to give the child a name according to proper regulative principles. So, illegitimate relation, uh, son, born son or a daughter. Mamata therefore was perplexed, but the demigods gave the child the appropriate name Bharadwaja, Bharadwaja, which indicated that the child born illegitimately should be maintained by both Mamata and Brahaspati. They should maintain. So Brahaspati is accountable and responsible. And also, Prabhupada gave some initiation talk. Brahaspati, very good name. Brahaspati was a priest of demigods. He is a priest among for all the demigods. And some more information about Brahaspati, that is the second son. Brahaspati said to Mamata, "You foolish woman, although this child was one man through, uh, born from a wife of one man through upon hearing this, Mamata replied, O Brahaspati, you maintain him. After speaking in this way, Brahaspati and Mamata both left. Thus the child was known as Bharatvaja. That is a little background about Brahaspati. One more last information about Brahaspati. King Indra, accompanied by all kinds of demigods, joined the side of Brahaspati. There was a fight between the team of Indra and all the other you know, Rakshasas like that. So Brahaspati was leading, and they all associated with Brahaspati. And then the 36th verse. Pulastya begot in his wife Havirbu one son of the name Agastya, who in his next birth became the Daharagni. Daharagni. So I think Daharagni is a digestive Agni. So we have a digestive system. So in that there is a Ushna. So that you know manifestation is or that particular demigod is Dharagni. So Agastya, and in the next birth Agastya has become, and besides him Pulastya begot another very great and saintly son whose name is Vishrava. So here we will have a discussion about these two children, Agastya and Vishrava. So here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Agastya, concerning Agastya, there are four opinions. There are four opinions from Chaitanya Charitamrita 9.223. There is a temple of Agastya Muni in the village of Temple of Lord Kanda on a hill known as Sivagiri. Yes, it is there in South Tamil Nadu. And this temple is said to have been established by Agastya Muni. So the temple itself established by Agastya Muni. That he is a follower of Lord Shiva and Subramanya. Some say that hill near Cape Cameron known as Patia served Agastya Muni's residence, and there is uh, a place known as Agastya Malaya, which is in the range of hill on both the sides of the Tamraparani. So there is a river called Tamraparani in Tamil Nadu. So Agastya Malaya. So on that hill station, still people call it as Agastya Muni, which is there in South Tamil Nadu. So this is a small, introduction about Agastya, and then the next son name is called Visarva. So this a little information about the Visarva from Ramayana and from Srimad Bhagavatam. This Visrava, so this Visrava from Ramayana, little information about Visrava is, O gentle one, you will give birth to a highly qualified son who shall be known as Visrava. So Visrava is connected with Ramayana also. So why we will see that from the next sloka. And also one more information about Visrava, so that is revealing the coming verse. That is also referred in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.1.44. Presently we are discussing 4.1.36 and 37. And here it is mentioned 7.1444 Srimad Bhagavatam. Jaya and Vijaya, the two doorkeepers of Lord Vishnu, took birth as Ravana and Kumbhakarna, begotten by Vishrava. So now we got the information from who is Vishrava from Ramayana and Srimad Bhagavatam. So Vishrava's three children. First children is Ravana, son is Ravana, then Kumbhakarna and Vishrava. And we all know Ravana. No need much information about Ravana. Kumbhakarna. Let me read the translation of this 37th verse. The 37th verse it is mentioned, Visarva had two wives. The first wife was Idavida, from whom Kuvera, so Kuvera also born, the master of all Yakshas, was born. And the next wife named Keshini, from whom three sons were born, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana. This is very interesting. So here, Keshini, the Sarva, there are three children. One is Kuvera. So we know Kuvera and Kuvera's son. Who are the Kuvera's sons? Ramagarashtakam we are familiar. So someone try to attempt who are the Kuvera's sons? Little interaction. Great question. You would like to answer? So Nal Kuvera and Manigriva. They both are the sons of Kuvera, we know. And then Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana. We all know Ravana is the evil king, who is none other. Ravana and Kumbhakarna, who is none other than Jaya and Vijaya, and Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. In this connection, Vibhishana. Then who is Vibhishana? Who is the younger brother of Ravana, brother of Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And then Vibhishana is a devotee, and Ravana and Kumbhakarna are not non-devotees. All are Lord's arrangements. So this is a little background about this particular. And let me quickly take 5 minutes to connect with the summary of all this. Understand better through once again peeping into what exactly this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Here we will do quick summary of where we are now for better understanding. So I guess this is all about genealogy, about Swayambha Manu, that lineage, who is born for whom and who is next, etc. Like that. Quick summary: this fourth canto deals about two portions. One is about descendants of Manu's daughter, and then descendants of Uttanapada, who is the son of Manu. Here, about which Manu we are discussing? Swayambhu Manu, we are discussing about. In that connection, the genealogy table of daughters of Manu. So, I will share one more screen for better understanding. I hope we could see the screen. So here it is mentioned that the 4.1, the genealogical table of daughters of Manu, and we started with the discussion of Maitreya to Vidura. So the Manu plus uh, Satarupa. So between Manu and Satarupa, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti, there are three daughters. So out of the three daughters, now we are focusing on the genealogical line of Devahuti. I mean to say the second daughter of Manu, Swayambhu Manu's second daughter. So here it is mentioned that Manu and Swaturupa begotten three daughters. So then out of three daughters, we are discussing about the second daughter Devahuti. So for Devahuti, Kardama plus Devahuti, nine daughters, one son, Kapiladev. So we all know that uh, Kapiladev is none other than Lord or Supreme Personality of Krishna. And then between Kardama and Devahuti, there are nine daughters. So already we discussed about two daughters, that is Kala, Marichi, and Anushya and Atli. So I'm not going to get into that. So, but one interesting fact about Anushya and Atri is all three the Lord begotten by Anushya and Atri because they all are great devotees. So for that reason, Dattatreya is partial incarnation of Vishnu and then Soma and Brihu, right? Or Lord Shiva and then Lord Brahma. They all are very pious people, so they got like that. In this material, there is some mistakes. So they are mentioned, Brihu from Lord Shiva. There is some mistake, and then Shraddha, that is third daughter. That is what today's topic. The third daughter, Shraddha, and fourth daughter, Havirbu. So today's subject matter is only about these two daughters only. So these two daughters. There are nine daughters. So out of nine daughters, right now we are discussing about only about three daughters and these three. The first four daughter and the third daughter and fourth daughter only we are discussing. And here between Angira, that means Shraddha and Angira, we have started. Here it is mentioned three daughters, actually four daughters and two sons, right? And then the fourth daughter, Havirbu, and between Pulastya, the Agastya and Visarva. So this Agastya and Visarva only we discussed. And, other four daughters for Angira and two sons for Shraddha and both. So I mean to say the third daughter and fourth daughter about only these four verses emphasizing. So we discussed about all these things. And during this is Swayambhu Manu's regime, they are the office bearers who are the ruling or administrator. They ask, this is the answer. So who is the Manu? Swayambhu Manu. Who is the chief devata? Tusitas. And who is the Manuputra? Prayavrata and Uttanapada. So here, this particular canto is not discussing about Prayavrata, and this second portion of this particular canto deals about Uttanapada. And then who is the Indra? Here Yajna. So one point I forgot to tell. So for all Manu Manvantras, all these 14 Manus, Lord also incarnates, right? So Lord also incarnates means, say, for Swayambhu Manu, Lord came in the form of Yajna. So here we are discussing. So Yajna, he himself ruling that particular planet. And then likewise other, what I can say, other Manvantras also, supreme, I mean, Lord's incarnation is that, or Lord Vishnu's avatara we can discuss. Initially, I recited 14 names of Manus or the Manvantras, and now we will discuss each Manvantara Lord's avatar. or Vishnu's avatar. The first avatara is Yajna, the second is Vibhu, third is Satyasena, fourth is Hari, fifth is Vaikunta, sixth is Ajita, and seventh is current avatar. So that is Vaivasvatva Manu, which is started from. Would anybody put it in the chat? I discussed this in the previous class also when I was discussing about 4.1.2. We had a discussion. Today we are discussing about 34, 35, 36, 37. So this Vaivasvatva Manu, current Manu, started with Vamana. Then remaining avatars Sarvabhauma, Rishabha, Vishwaksena, Dharmashetu, Sudama, Yogeshwara, Brihad, Bhag. So, as I mentioned initially, okay, all this lineage, I'm remembering, I'm trying to understand. So, what I'm going to get from this, the devotee should understand, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood, right? The conclusion, is like this. After describing the incarnations, Lord Chaitanya described the Yuga avatars to Sanatana Goswami. There are four yugas or millennium, Satya, Treta, Dwapara and Kali, and in each millennium the Supreme Lord appears in an incarnation of different color. In the Satya Yuga, the color of the principal incarnation is white. In the Treta Yuga, color is red. In the Dwapara Yuga, blackish, Krishna. And in the Kali Yuga, yellow, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.8.13 by the astrologer Garga Muni, who calculated Krishna's horoscope in the house of Nanda Maharaj. So this is additional information for understanding why we have to get into all these studies, and especially we are getting into this genealogical table of daughters of Manu. So here initially three daughters, and especially for the three daughters' name is Akuti, Devahuti, Prasuti, and here the first, the second daughter, Akuti is over. The second daughter is Devahuti. For Devahuti, there are nine daughters. So today's discussion is a third daughter and fourth daughter. The third daughter name is Shraddha. The fourth daughter name is Habirbu. The third daughter's husband name is Angira. And fourth daughter's husband name is Pulastya. The two sons of Pulastya is Agastya and Visarva. Visarva is the father of Kuvera, Kumbhakarna and Ravana, Vibhishna. Right? So, what is the quality of Kumbhakarna? Kumbhakarna was cursed. So, because of the curse, he always sleeps. If anybody sleeps more than 12 hours, so in our parampara system it says, the one who sleeps, more than 6 hours, or sorry, 12 hours, they will be identified as what? Or the one who sleeps less will be identified as Arjuna. That particular name, the name is Gudakesha. The Gudakesha means until the one who fulfills the Lord's desire, or the ability what Lord has given to me, so then that person is qualified to be a Gudakesha. Otherwise, that another person will be called as Kumbhakarna. That means the one who sleeps for 6 months, or lazy, always so dull. So that is the understanding about Kumbhakarna. And then a brief summary about what we discussed today is from 34th sloka. 34th sloka to 37th sloka is, so we are dealing about two daughters. I mean, initially for Manu's three daughters, and the second daughters, there are nine daughters. About that nine daughters, we are already discussed about two daughters. The third daughter name is called Shraddha. About her only we are discussing. The fourth daughter's name is called Havirbu. So they are the two daughters. So the third daughter's name is Shraddha, and fourth daughter's name is called Havirbu, and the third daughter given a birth to four daughters, and four daughters married to whom and all I have discussed. I would like to name their names, Sinivali, Kufu, Raka, Anumati. They married to whom and all we discussed more elaborately. The third daughter, Shraddha, whose husband is Angira. The fourth daughters, Manu's third daughter or Manu's, second daughter's fourth granddaughter we are discussing. So that is Havirbu. So for Havirbu, Agastya, and for Havirbu, Agastya, and Pulastya got another. Pulastya begot another very great and saintly son, whose name is Visarva. Visarva is none other than who is the father of. Visarva is the father of Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishna, Kuvera. Right? The Kuvera from first wife, Idavida, and Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishna from Keshini. So we had an elaborated discussion about Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishna, about Kuvera, and then Visarva is a very saintly person. Right? That also we have discussed. And then another information is this. They both, Ravana and Kumbhakarna is in previous month, Jaya and Vijaya we know. So due to the curse of Brahmana, four Kumaras, they took a birth as a Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and we know that Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. They also, that is also because of this is the Lord's wish, and always as I started with the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, discussing with Sanatan Goswami, saying that so for one day of Brahma, how this and etc. And due to countless universe are produced by the exhalation of Mahavishnu, and thus no one can begin to calculate how many Manus are existing at one time. At least we know that currently we are in seventh Manu, Vaivasvata Manu. And then the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so follow Yuga Avatara. So this all Manvantara Avataras and all other six types of Avatara. Why the Lord is explaining here, arrive to the conclusion in the Kali Yuga, as astrologer Garga Muni predicted, who calculated Krishna's horoscope in the house of Nanda Maharaj. It is the proof of Srimad Bhagavatam 10.8.13. So in Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and advised us to get into Nama Sankirtan. By chanting the glories of the Lord, one could purify and could go back to Godhead. So with this small summary, I'd like to conclude today's class by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra to align with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood as started today's session. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Here I'd like to stop. If there are any sharings or queries, you are most welcome to discuss. Once again, thanks for all the devotees. Hare Krishna. Is there any sharings or clarification? Otherwise, Vatra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thanks for joining. Hare Krishna. in the session.